Greetings everyone, Lomberg here, super excited with a lot of topics to update, so let's dive in. Please bear with me, it is going to be a slightly longer video just because we have many things to talk about. We're going to first talk about this mini game that got released hours after the false advertising video that I made. It may just be coincidental timing or it may be a response. It is very interesting though that a minigame with absolute garbage rewards of 100 XP got released, and this game still has nothing to do with the real gameplay of this. I apologize for just a screenshot, and I'm not going into the game because I think the server is under maintenance right now, but we can still talk about these topics. So here is a screenshot of that minigame. It is similar to some of the ads. However, those ads have been playing for weeks, if not months, before this minigame was released. And it does seem a little bit rushed and absolutely nothing to do. And again, it doesn't take away from putting a mini game ad for a game that has absolutely nothing to do with this decision. And this mini game was boring. I mean, I played 20 levels and it just didn't do it for me. It got really repetitive and boring. Okay, so that's interesting timing on Camel's part. Maybe they're following my videos, maybe they aren't. Let's then actually start off with another tip of the day. So I feel bad that I've been only doing videos that really are about locked servers and unfairness and bias, but I think those are important topics, but I still didn't want to leave you guys with nothing. So this is not my tip. This credit goes to Wizard, who shared this pretty interesting saving mechanism, and I think I'm going to use it as well. So basically the tip here is that your first vitality boost up to increase your vitality on your Titans costs the least amount. So you could actually just do that daily, and some of you may already be doing this. And so that way you build up your vitality using 300 gold instead of, let's say, in the heat of battle or in void or frenzy time, you're not going to be spending the incremental increase that it costs for vitality go up. So instead of using 300, it goes up to 600 and possibly even more. Just to show an example of this, you can see it here. This is somebody that's using that same technique. His vitality is 9,000. So this means that whenever he uses Titans, they're always full of vitality, and he's doing it at the cheapest rate possible of 300 per day. Of course, you have to keep in mind that you don't send Titans to raid farms and other things that could cost that vitality, because you're basically anytime you use it, you're going to lose it. All right, that's a quick tip of the day, and now let's dive into some of the more interesting topics. So we talked about me reaching out to Camel representatives and say, hey guys, can we do an interview request? So I made a good first effort. So I filed both a ticket and then I copy pasted that and then sent them an email to the aoz@camelforyou.com. And here you can see that I really just tried to be forthright and said, look, let's talk about these lock nations. Let's talk about these mergers. I think I'm a good ambassador for the game. We can make this a positive effort. You can either work with me or we can work against me. And, let's actually try to have a conversation, give you a say in the matter, and give you a chance to kind of clarify it. Let's look at what Camel responded. No surprise there. Let's see, they sent something canned, if I can find it. Yep, here we go. So here's my message to them where I said, hey, can we have an interview request? Can you send a representative? Thank you for your feedback. We will contact if it needs in the future. So basically, no thank you. All right. Well, I tried Camel, so let's talk about more things that are happening. So let's go into our Discord page. So literally, as I was doing my video and as I was finishing everything, I noticed that, wait a minute, new mergers got announced. What's interesting about this merger is that, it's announced in September 28th. For a effective date of October. So a pretty long lead time, but that kind of makes sense because there is 16 mergers announced here. And right off the bat, you'll notice, and I'll go into my spreadsheet where I've updated this. So I'm going to, of course, share that in the link. So let's go into my drive and I can show it to you guys there. If I can find it. Here we go. So it's in my GC, my Global Conquest file, but you can see it here on the merger list. I did add these new mergers into it. What's interesting, and of course you guys can anticipate this, that I've separated here by which one is locked and which one is unlocked. So you can see that the 600 worlds are all locked servers, right? So not only are the 600 worlds getting a merger while the unlocked are, basically 200 worlds behind, but also the locked nations are getting 4 nations merging into one while the unlocked nations are getting 3. So automatically that is a 33% advantage for the locked nations, not to mention the fact that that is a whole 200 worlds ahead while the rest of the people are basically 200 worlds behind. So despite all the attention to this matter, Camel has not changed their ways. This will continue. This fight will continue. Locked nations continue to get a unfair advantage in terms of 1 extra world merging, and not only that, but also they are getting mergers far sooner than any other of the other locked nations. So that continues. What I've done next is pretty exciting for me, because this was a lot of work to put this together. But I basically went through every single nation from the 350 on up to identify what happened and whether they're locked or unlocked. And you can see some really surprising results here. Wow, because I was surprised. So look at the number of locked nations. So the red one is locked and the green is unlocked. And here you can see that it is really high, the ratio. The ratio has gone down a little bit. You can see that it's about 31% locked nations, 34% here. But here you can see we have 41% in this globe of 600 to 696. 41% of the nations are locked. That is a pretty high number. And you can see that the very first locked nation right here was 432. And of course, those merged into 457, infamous 457 and 442. And of course, they got mergers faster than anybody else, but you can just see the history of that there was no unlocked servers until this happened right here. And right around that 432 mark is where the first locked world appeared. And then pretty much since then, you can almost see a pattern of them kind of going through. And I've kind of highlighted and kept the logic same. If they've got a merger, we need to keep track of whether they were locked or unlocked. And you can see that, yes, we did get some unlocked nations now getting mergers. But of course, you can see here what's apparent here. And one thing I'll note, that this file here, the locked versus unlocked, does not include this latest merger because it just got announced. Come on, guys. I'm one person. Camel has an entire team. I'm trying to keep track of them and trying to hold them accountable, but it's just one-man shop. So I will need some time to kind of update this list of 16 mergers onto this file. But this is going to be very helpful to visually see and really hold Camel accountable that you have enough locked worlds to match them with each other. There's a lot of these locked worlds, and you continue this unfair practice of giving mergers to locked worlds, basically 200 worlds ahead of schedule than the unlocked worlds. So please, stop this or explain it, or, send a representative to do an interview, man up. All right. What's even further interesting, and I hinted at this in one of my videos, is that in this analysis, this was a painstaking analysis. I had to go through each of these nations and see if I can get in, and then whether it was locked or not locked. So this took a lot of time, but it really is absolutely necessary, because you can't fight misinformation with just, I think. It has to be shown, it has to be proven, it has to be shown with data, and that's what we're doing here. We are just showing the data to make it apparent to everybody and prove that there is a disparity and there is an unfairness here that needs to be addressed. And if you want your game to survive, if you want this to go away, you will have to address it. You can't just keep doing what you're doing and hope and pray that it's going to go away and expect me to stop, or threaten me with lawsuits. Guess what? The lawsuit that I did in one of my videos, the guy won. It was dismissed. So, you can try all you want, but this is fair. This is my opinion. This is my right to be able to express this as a customer, as a user of your product. This is a review for you. This is a wake-up call. I like your product. You need to do better. All right. Even more interesting is, how Camel, you said that there was no secret mergers. Everything is announced on your social media page, Discord. And It's not. Look, I just found me, one person, doing this research, going click by click to figure out. You have a team of people. You are a multi-million-dollar business. Maybe, several, maybe tens or hundreds of millions. I mean, you guys are a company. You have multiple games. You have a staff of people. You have people that can check these things and can validate it. I shouldn't be the one to have to be able to find this. It's not just oversight. Oversight would be you've never missed out an unlocked server merger announcement, but you did not announce these. And please, this time we're going to timestamp it so you can't go back into your list and edit it and then claim that it was always there. It's not, and I'm going to prove it. We're going to go into your Discord and we're going to look for these mergers and we're going to show that they don't exist, but clearly they are there. These are locked nations. This merger happened. I have documented it here, and we're going to go through and search it and show that, look, you guys are misrepresenting and just plain lying about everything is being listed on there. It's not. So you've been caught again. And this time you can try to go back and edit it and say that, look, it was always there, but we're going to prove that it's not. So we're going to have it on video and on record. So here you can see 588 is a merged nation. Thank you for the community for bringing that to my attention. 575 is also another merged nation. But it's never listed. It was never listed as a merger. We not only know that it was a merger, but we know exactly who merged into it. 590, 586, and 584 merged. In fact, you can see that the last void date that 588 had was July 17th. In fact, all of these mergers basically happened. The last time that they did void was July 17th, and then these other nations basically don't do void anymore, but the merged nation, of course, continued void. So we know that the merger happened probably around the August timeframe, because the last time that they did void was July 17th. So we know the time, and we know that you can go back and try to edit it, but we're going to catch you and we're going to show that, yes, there is unlocked mergers that you don't announce. Now that you know that people are watching, now that you know that I'm watching, of course you're going to be more diligent, but nope, we're just going to still prove this and show that you missed it. So let's go into your Discord page, your official Discord page. Here's the announcement, of course, the October merger. And in this page, we're going to search for one of the nations. So let's look for 590, right? Whoops. And search. And you can see right here, just like I was saying, so everything related to 590 should show up here. But before we do that, let's actually use something that works. So let's say, in this announcement, you can see that one of the nations that merged, or let's say just look at the last month nation, one of the nations that merged is, let's say, 605. So if you search for 605, a nation that actually merged and was announced, you will see that it works. That, okay, yep, you can see that here's somebody else posted about 605, and then here's some of the void matching data, and then there's many people that posted and copied this in many places, but you can see clearly here's Princess of Doom announcement and the official announcement of 605 merger. So if Camel had announced the same thing, we would have found something related to these other mergers, right? But let's see if that really is the case. So we're going to search for 590 or 588 and hit search. And you can see here, just like I was saying, it shows up. The last time that we see 590 was this July 2022 void. Where is your merger? Not there. Nope. And you can see, yep, it did match up. It's in this matchup listing. And I've even showed in my other screenshot there who they matched with. Let's look at 588, the merged nation. We know that merged. But is it listed here? You can see people talking about 588. You can see here that, look, they're on the void schedule for September. They're on the void schedule for August. Where is the merger? Nowhere is the merger mentioned. All right, there you go, Camel. And we can do the same thing with 575. Just to prove, time-stamped. You can go back and try to edit it, but guess what? No announcement. You can see here it's on the void schedule. Void schedule. And then, but no merger announcement. So if we go back to my spreadsheet, and this is always going to be in the description link here, you can basically see that Here is the nations that merged: 573, 566, 577 into 575. All of these are locked, and this was definitely not listed on your official Discord page. 2 mergers, amongst all the other ones that we found, because we found these and you added them later, right? So I added a note here to say, yep, you added them later. This was added by Camel later, 452 and 442. And now we're going to also have that same note here. But this is very telling, guys. I mean, this was shocking to me when I did this compilation, and I shared with a couple of people, and they were shocked that this is how many locked nations we have. It does look like it's slowing down a little bit, but not that much. It's still about 1/3 of the nation is locked. But here you can see it was a lot, 41% there, 39% here, a lot of locked nations. So this is not going away. This disparity is not going away, and it needs to be addressed. So all of this is going to be available in the description. This file, you can use it. I'm going to show a couple of pictures. So this was just very revealing for me. A lot of time went into this, but I think it's really absolutely necessary to hold Camel accountable and to have this information. So they said no to an interview, and so I'm going to keep doing my work. I'm going to keep showing the disparity, showing the unfairness, and showing this rampant problem that's not going away. Camel is doubling down. They're going to try to intimidate me, you, but we just have to keep the pressure on them. And ultimately what they have to realize is that, look, your product is it's a great game. The mechanics of the game are great, but your product is not to the point where you can expect people to know about the rampant unfairness and still spend on it. There is other products out there. There's people that spend a lot of money on this game, and they can take their spend elsewhere. Am I still spending money? Yes. I want to improve this game. I want to change this game. I want Camel to partner and do a better job, explain and fix these problems. Because guess what? If you don't, this is going to be the death of the game, right? Because nobody wants to play a system that's rigged. Nobody wants to play a system that's unfair. And this sure looks like unfairness when you can see, just look at this latest merger announcement. 600 worlds, no other unlocked nation got a merger. All the 600 worlds are locked nations. So, Camel, it's time to really, really do something about this, because I'm not going to go away. The community is not going to go away, and the pressure will continue. That's all I have to say, guys. Have a wonderful week. Sorry for the length of the video, but I just had to get these interesting information out there.